The British Prime Minister has called for a revision of the Northern Ireland Protocol. If necessary, the government will enact national laws for this. The EU warns against a unilateral approach. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced a legislative process to overturn the agreements with the EU on Northern Ireland's Brexit status if necessary. The Tory politician travelled to the north of the Emerald Isle for talks with representatives of the largest Northern Irish parties on Monday. Everyone is of the opinion that the so-called Northern Ireland Protocol needs to be reformed and improved. Well, that's at least what Johnson said after the talks. It's not everyone. We would love to do this in a consensual manner with our friends and partners, he said. But as an insurance, his government has to legislate at the same time. According to the German press agency Information, Foreign Minister Liz Truss wanted to explain what that should look like on Tuesday in Parliament in London, so today. The EU had warned against unilateral action by London. Otherwise, the entire trade agreement would be at stake. That's what Ireland's Foreign Minister Simon Coveney said on Monday in Brussels. During his visit to Northern Ireland, Johnson called for the formation of a unity government. The DUP has so far refused to elect a Speaker of Parliament in protest against the Northern Ireland Protocol. The Unionist Party will also not join a unity government with the Republican Sinn Féin. At Sinn Féin, skepticism clearly prevailed after meeting Johnson. Sinn Féin President Mary Lou MacDonald accused Johnson of collaborating with the DUP. Should London actually try to undermine the agreements of the Brexit Treaty through national legislation, it would be absolutely outrageous, said MacDonald. DUP boss Geoffrey Donaldson, on the other hand, called for action from Johnson. It's not enough to announce laws, they have to be implemented, well, Donaldson said. Boris Johnson is getting a beating from all sides for the latest twists on his Northern Ireland policy. During his long-awaited visit to Belfast on Monday, representatives of the political parties gave no backing to the British Prime Minister's plan to unilaterally change the region's special status agreed with the EU. In London, party friends warned of a new Northern Ireland law that Foreign Minister Liz Truss wants to present to the cabinet. After I'm filming this, by the way, but before you see my video. Even from Washington, it was said that the Conservative Brexit government should make no fuss about the highly sensitive matter. And that's what it is. In the regional elections at the beginning of the month, Sinn Féin won 29% and the most seats. For the first time, an Irish nationalist party is the strongest political force in the Belfast Parliament. From this derives the claim of the regional Sinn Féin boss Michelle O'Neill to the office of First Minister. However, a combined government with the representatives of the largest union group loyal to London can only be formed if the DUP, which was punished by the electorate with 21%, appoints a representative as Deputy Prime Minister. This is denied by DUP leader Geoffrey Donaldson, and even more, his group did not even agree, as I said, to elect a Speaker of Parliament, which means that the entire political system in Northern Ireland is once again lying idle. Addressing these holdouts, the Prime Minister wrote in an article for the Belfast Telegraph that the electorate had given their politicians a clear mandate. Focus on everyday problems, schools, hospitals, the cost of livings. This results in the demand to fill the political institutions with life, so just saying go back to work. As a concession to the unionist side, however, Johnson and his Northern Ireland chief negotiator Truss have been pushing for a reformulation of the so-called protocol for weeks. This agreement is part of the UK's internationally binding EU exit agreement. It is intended to keep the land border with Ireland open and while ensuring the integrity of the internal market. As a result, customs and import checks were imposed between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. And that, of course, angered the unionists. After months of negotiations, Vice President of the Commission Maroš Šefčovič promised significant improvements to the previously rather petty regulations last October, which London considers insufficient. However, Brussels insists that a renegotiation of the protocol is out of the question. What Johnson and Truss are planning now is ruthless. That O'Neill really fumes about this. Truss' Irish colleague Simon Coveney warned in no uncertain terms against British going it alone, and Conor Burns in particular seems to have caused people to think about it in London. The close Johnson confidant returned empty-handed from a trip to Washington, where developments in Northern Ireland are being closely followed by the powerful Irish lobby in Congress, but also by Irish-born President Joe Biden. Burns was told that no theatre was wanted, as he confided to the Times. At Downing Street, Johnson's advisers are eyeing Truss' actions with great suspicion. In autumn, the foreign minister took over the Northern Ireland issue from Lord David Frost, who was completely overwhelmed with the explicit mandate to conduct talks with Šefčovič in a friendlier and more goal-oriented atmosphere. Instead, the ambitious politician is using the unwieldy affair to ingratiate herself with the ruling Tories' hard right wing. There are different motivations in the government district of Westminster, says the Liberal Tory Julian Smith. In February 2020, after a long line of incompetent and disinterested Conservatives at the helm of Northern Ireland, Smith had managed to reassemble provincial politicians around the Belfast government table. Shortly thereafter, he was fired by Johnson. Now the ex-minister is promoting rapid negotiations, as he reported to the Foreign Press Club FPA on Monday in London. Both sides would have to move, Smith appealed to his own government, but also to Brussels, although Brussels moved a lot, I have to say. But he says, peace in Northern Ireland is built on avenue compromises. A close confidant of former Prime Minister Theresa May rejected Truss law as the basis for a unilateral revision of the protocol. I don't think it's helpful to use a law as a threat. And that's quite right. But to emphasize this, because I read a lot of crap in the comments under my videos, the EU made proposals within the protocol that could stop 80% of the checks if the UK agree and do their part of it. But they don't even want to talk about this. The UK didn't do anything so far, didn't propose anything but renegotiating. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.